Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, the largest health insurance company in the United States by revenue, was fatally shot today. His leadership in one of the country's most powerful healthcare companies wasn't without controversy. Here's what you need to know. First is the antitrust investigation and insider trading scandal. In February of this year, the Department of Justice launched an antitrust investigation into United Health Group's alleged anti-competitive practices. In a related shareholder lawsuit, Brian Thompson, along with several other United Health Group executives, were accused of insider trading. The day the investigation became public, he actually sold $1.5 million in stocks. And just a few days prior, on February 16th, he also netted $15.1 million in sold stocks. In 2021, United Healthcare also sparked national backlash after proposing a policy that would deny coverage for non-emergency ER visits. This sparked so much backlash, United Healthcare ended up shelving the controversial policy. Another scandal in 2023 when lawsuits revealed that United Healthcare used an AI model with a 90% error rate to deny coverage for elderly patients. This resulted in patients being kicked out of rehabilitation programs and care facilities, forcing them to drain their life savings for needed care. Another controversial event was the provider network fallout this past summer. Health Partners, a major healthcare provider, cut ties with United Healthcare, alleging that there were too many denials or delays and interference of patient care. Health Partners stated, quote, "At times, this denial rate has been up to 10 times higher than other insurers we work with." DOJ investigations to AI-driven care denials. Brian Thompson's leadership was far from controversy-free. With his shocking death today, the impact on United Healthcare and the healthcare industry remains to be seen. Shoot me a follow if you want to stay up to date.
Yeah, we got to talk about this a little bit because there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out of this situation, including one that involves Nancy Pelosi of all people. Yeah, I know. Not very shocking, right? That Nancy Pelosi could possibly, now I gotta say allegedly, could be allegedly involved in this entire situation. So as you guys heard, the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, recently, unfortunately, was pine box. I'm gonna try to keep it a little PG. The circumstances were quite bizarre. Just broad daylight. Well, it wasn't broad daylight. It was like 6:45 a.m., I believe. Yeah, 6:45 a.m. But it wasn't like in a dark alley, right? It wasn't like, you snuck into the guy's house. It wasn't private. It was just like right on the street, right on the sidewalk, where anybody who was out there at 6:45 a.m. could see what was happening and what was going on. And this was in New York. So, isn't it New York where they say the city that doesn't sleep? Isn't that the nickname for New York? Or is that Chicago? I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of people in New York. So 6:45 isn't like a time where you're not going to see anybody out there. As a matter of fact, in the video clip, you can see there is a lady that is standing within 10 feet of the entire situation happening. And it looks like she's like in shock at first, and then she takes off and runs. So yeah. Anyway, let's read about this entire situation because like I said, man, this stuff is crazy. Absolutely insane. So yeah. The NYPD has escalated its search for the assassin who killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in an early morning shooting. Shocking surveillance footage obtained by Daily Mail captured the horror unfolding at 6:45 a.m. on Wednesday outside the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan, outside of a hotel building. Like, this stuff is crazy, and I'm not laughing because the man lost his life. Just the brazenness of it. Like, you did this outside of a hotel, bro, and like out on the street. Like this wasn't hidden at all. Thompson, 50, was seen walking in front of the hotel when a masked assailant drew out a large weapon fitted with a silencer. Yeah, he had a silencer on the weapon and hit him in the back before the CEO stumbled down the street. The man followed him and continued firing into the father of two as he hit the ground, hitting him in the chest and calf before sparking a huge citywide manhunt by fleeing the scene on a bike. And stick around because there's some interesting news about that bike that he fleed on, where a guy was able to track that bike in an interesting way. It's quite interesting. Stick around. I got the video for you. So, authorities said the guy escaped into Central Park, and hours later, the NYPD released 2 large sets of images along with a $10,000 reward in an appeal for information leading to the suspect. Now, if you ask me, $10K ain't enough. I mean, if this guy is truly an assassin, like some people are claiming he is, 10,000 ain't enough to rat out an assassin. I'm just saying. Anybody from the hood knows if you go snitch, you better snitch for some good money to like get up out of there, because something might happen to you. You know, we all heard the old saying, snitches get stitches. Yeah, you not. I'm just saying, 10K probably ain't gonna be enough to get somebody to tell on an alleged assassin. Okay, now I don't know if this guy is quite an assassin, and I'll explain why here shortly. But y'all let me know in the comment section. Do y'all think they're gonna get any information for this $10,000 reward? I don't believe so. They're gonna have to up that. Personally, the images include new shots of the guy standing by a counter dressed in all black with his face mostly obscured by a balaclava. I'm assuming it's like this mask thing. Sources told the New York Times the images were taken from a nearby Starbucks. The guy stopped at a Starbucks, I think, before this whole thing went down. Yeah. Another reason why I don't think this guy is an assassin. But, you know, yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts, okay? He was slated to speak at an investor meeting at the Hilton Hotel soon after the shooting. According to a release from the United Healthcare on Tuesday, he would announce the company's hugely profitable 2025 financial outlook, including expected revenues upwards of $450 billion. Yeah, $450 billion. And these are the alleged images of the guy who did it. Okay. So, yeah. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy. And this is the CEO, Brian Thompson, obviously. I'm not going to be showing you guys the video for obvious reasons. I think this is the video right here of the situation going down, but I'm not going to play it here. I'm not going to play the pine boxing of another individual. I don't think the tube would like that too much. But the video's everywhere. I mean, you could go to X and type it in, and I mean, it's the first thing that pops up. Okay. Now, my thoughts, like, okay, so if you watch the video, and like I said, you can find the video anywhere. If you watch the video, first off, the weapon looks very small. It looks like it has a long silencer on it, so it makes the weapon seem bigger than what it actually is. But when you watch him fire, right? You watch him fire. He shoots, and then he tries to pull back the slide immediately, which that tells me one of two things is happening, or I guess one of two. Either he's not holding the gun tight enough. So I guess I gotta say this. For those of you that are like gun professionals, I'm no professional. So my terminology may be off. Something I may say may be a little off. Okay. I'm no professional. I know enough to get the job done, right? Is what I would like to say. I know enough to get the job. I'm no gun professional, and I don't claim to be, but just from my own basic knowledge, which my knowledge is pretty basic, when you fire and a round doesn't like the gun doesn't rechamber itself, a round doesn't hop back into the chamber, it's one of two things. Either you're not holding the gun tight enough, and that actually happened to me. I remember it like it was yesterday, the first time I was firing a gun, and it like wouldn't chamber itself, but it was because I wasn't like holding it tight enough. And if you don't hold a gun tight enough when you're firing, it doesn't put one back into the chamber. Or it was a smaller caliber gun, like a 22, which that happens a lot with 22s. My original guess was that it was a 22. And that's why when he was firing, he shot the first time, and he immediately yanked back the slide to, chamber another round. And then he went to try to fire again. He, yanked back the slide to rechamber. Like, he was yanking back the slide every time he would fire. So that was a little off to me. Little off. But allegedly, and let me pause this video, there were some shell casings and actual live rounds that were left at the scene, Full Metal Jackets, which is kind of interesting. Full Metal Jackets, you just fire Full Metal Jackets. You typically, I only fire Full Metal Jackets at the range. I'm just saying. I don't know. Y'all let me know if I'm a fool for that one. I don't walk around with Full Metal Jackets. So yeah, there were 3 live Full Metal Jackets and 3 spent shell casings, and they were allegedly 9 mil. He's not using but where was that? It actually says the caliber of the rounds somewhere. I read it. Oh, here we go. The shooting was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack, police said late Wednesday morning. Thompson appeared unaware he was in danger and had no security detail near him, Kinney told reporters. Authorities found 3 live 9mm rounds and 3 discharged 9mm shell casings, as well as the cell phone at the scene. Okay, so yeah, I couldn't find it. I was like, I know I saw that there was allegedly, there were 9mm, bullets and shell casings there. So my whole 22 theory might be gone out the window. But also in the video, it doesn't look like his hand is like, it looks like he's holding the gun pretty firm when he's shooting. So I don't know what is happening, why he's having to rechamber around every time he's firing, unless it's like some gun I've never seen or heard of, because I'm no gun enthusiast. I'm not a gun professional. Maybe there is a 9mm out there where every time you fire, you have to chamber around. It's not a gun that I would personally buy. Like, goodness gracious, could you imagine being in a life or death situation and you're like, and you're having to like re-rack it every time? Like, yeah, that would be terrible. Absolutely terrible. And allegedly, the guy wrote something interesting on the bullets. The words deny, defend, and depose were discovered by detectives on the shell casings found at the scene where Brian Thompson, the CEO of a major insurance company, was found. And yeah, delay, deny, defend. Not the exact words. Deny, defend, depose. Deny, defend, depose. Why insurance companies don't pay claims and what you can do about it. I don't know. Y'all think there's a connection there? Talk to me now. This is all quite interesting stuff. Now, in regards to the bike, check out this clip.
Okay, we're good now.
Low tech.
What just happened?
So there was unfortunately a very sad shooting in Manhattan where the United Healthcare CEO was shot. Seemed like it was targeted. Very, very terrible. But then I was watching the news this morning, and the police chief in the news conference said that the assailant fled on a city bike, on an e-bike, which is like crazy that a criminal would flee on a bike, like especially a city bike. But I've been scraping city bike data for the past few weeks. This is not it right here. This is it right here, where I can see where every individual bike has been. So I can see, okay, like this. Let's see. Like right here, bike number like 2164382 entered a dock at 2:03 p.m. and then it exited the dock. Someone else took the bike at 2:13 p.m. At station number 1058, which is Columbus Avenue, West 59th Street.
Yeah.
So using all this data, I can see, I checked all the possible rides that the assailant could have fled on, and there were like only 8 rides within the time frame of the shooting. Only one of them was headed northbound through Central Park, so which is what the police said that the guy went through. So
He found the bike. So this guy has some data that he was putting together long before this whole situation went down. And he goes on to talk about that. Like, he just wanted to do something cool and thought it was cool to be able to like track the bikes, the city bikes in New York and whatnot. And that's why he put that whole spread together. So he literally found the bike that the guy took and it showed that that was the only bike that was going up through the park where the alleged gunman was supposed to be heading. So he could possibly be the person that cracks this case wide open, because if he knows where the bike was picked up, where it came off the dock, and possibly where it got put back on, maybe there's a camera pointing at that area. I would assume that there is. I mean, it's New York, for goodness sake, right? There's cameras everywhere. So, yeah, interesting stuff right there. Interesting stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff surrounding this entire situation. Like, check out this video clip.
By now, you've all heard that the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, was fatally shot in Manhattan. I believe that Brian Thompson was targeted. This was an assassination. But why? Well, I'm sure a lot of theories are going to come out over the next couple days as what this guy was into. But one of the ones that's not really been talked about, and it's really hard to find out, obviously, because he was shot, was that United Healthcare and Brian Thompson, the CEO, they were all under investigation from the DOJ. The DOJ is suing United Healthcare because they are trying to buy Amnodize, which is the giant home healthcare company. That's not why investors and people of power would be upset. The reason that they are upset is because United Healthcare knew that it was coming under investigation, and instead of calling its investors and the people that are invested in their company and letting them know, hey, this investigation's coming down the pipe, you probably should sell your stock, CEO Brian Thompson and Chief Accounting Officer Tom Ruse had sold all their stock off. Actually, a lawsuit from an unnamed defendant against Brian Thompson and United Healthcare as a whole for doing this exact thing and causing the plaintiff, who again is unnamed, to lose millions and millions of dollars. Stating that United Healthcare was aware of the DOJ investigation since at least October 2023, and instead of disclosing the material investigation to investors and the public, United Health sold more than $120 million of personally held United Healthcare shares. 4 months between learning about the DOJ investigation and the investigation becoming public, United Health Chairman Stephen Hemsley sold over $102 million of his personally held United Healthcare shares, and Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, sold over $15 million of his personal shares, stating that they had purchased United Health common stock at an artificially inflated price during the class period and suffered damages as the result of violations of the federal securities laws alleged here. All of these stock sales and all of this investigation stuff actually happened in 2023, but the truth did not come out about it until February 27, 2024, when the Wall Street Journal reported that the DOJ had reopened its antitrust investigation into United Health. As a result of the disclosure, the price of United Health stock declined by $27 per share, erasing nearly $25 billion in shareholder revenue. In the first part of December, and the CEO of United Health, who made a ton of money off this whole deal by basically inflating and then dumping the stocks, is now dead. I'd be pretty pissed off too. I don't know that I'd go murderous, but I'd be pretty mad.
The old pump and dump. Oh my goodness. Can't believe I said that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, that's legitimately what was described there, a pump and dump in terms of stocks. My theory, now I could definitely be wrong. My theory is that this was a very angry individual who possibly lost quite a bit of money, and he wanted to exact revenge. Or possibly this was a guy who is very sick, or knows someone, a parent that is very sick, or a child that is very sick, and was denied their health claim by their insurance company. That's my assumption. I don't think this guy was like a professional assassin of some sort. I mean, maybe. I mean, the silencer does that's quite interesting. You know, people don't typically have those, right? That's not like a normal piece of equipment. So that one throws me off a little bit. But the fact that he had to like continually chamber around afterwards, like that's the weapon you would pick as an assassin, like that, like all of it, there's like a lot of conflicting things. Now, it did look like he had fired a weapon before, like he was very familiar with how to rechamber around, how to pull back the slide. I mean, he did it like effortlessly. I mean, bow, rack, bow, rack, bow, like now, but also like his first shot, you could see, I don't know, like it was low and like off center a little bit. And so he hit the guy in his leg, the CEO in his leg, and you could see where like the CEO like lifts his leg and he starts hopping. But that's because like the guy was like, I don't know, like he wasn't shooting properly. Like, and even a non-professional like myself, I would still consider myself a rookie, to be quite honest. But even I could see like, oh yeah, that he's way too low. He's holding the gun like way too low, and then it drops and it hits the guy in the leg. And even in the report, it even says that the CEO was hitting the leg, so it all makes sense. But yeah, man, I just don't like that stuff. Doesn't seem like assassin. I mean, maybe he did that kind of stuff on purpose. Maybe he wanted to look, unprofessional or untrained, so we would be thrown off. I don't know. I'm confusing myself at this point. I was so sure when I started talking about this. I was like, yeah, bro, this is not an assassin. Now I'm like, man, maybe he's like playing tricks with us. Maybe he's playing 4D chess. Like, yeah, I am an assassin, but I'm gonna make it look like I'm not one. I'm gonna make it look like I'm not super professional, but at the same time, I know how to rechamber around. I don't panic, right? But I'm gonna miss my first shot and make it look like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, man. What do y'all think? Talk to me in the comment section. This is gonna be an interesting conversation because wow. And the fact that we have stuff like this going on is quite crazy. And I'd be the first to admit, insurance companies suck. But once again, like the young lady said, Shipwreck said, it's no reason to go pine box someone, right? Yes, our insurance companies, they absolutely suck. Anybody that's ever had to argue with an insurance company knows they suck. They suck. It almost makes you want to be like, you know what? F insurance, right? Because, man, it's like, bro, I'm paying all this money, and the one time that I need y'all to come through for me, y'all give me a bunch of BS, and y'all give me the loop-de-loop about this or that, and why this possibly isn't going to work because X, Y, and Z little fine print thing in the, that I'm not going to read, and it's like, come on, bro. I paid y'all all this on time when y'all asked for it. Anybody that's ever fought with an insurance company, you know how I'm feeling right now. But that's still, once again, that is no reason to go and harm anybody, right? It's crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. We living in a wild world. But like I said, let me know your thoughts, your opinions on all of this in the comment section below. Stay safe out there. My condolences to Brian Thompson's family and loved ones. Tragic. Absolutely tragic. Peace and love. I'm out.